This is Part 2, Episode 171. After the contract was signed, things were naturally carried out according to the contract. The huge Axe Dojo wouldn't dare come find Luo Feng again. Also, the virtual universe company's efficiency was extremely high, as it immediately sent large amounts of people via God Country teleportation to Earth, and began to build their floating city. They also started building a shrine in the outer regions of the solar system. Its size was almost comparable to the sun. In this shrine, absolute beings were stationed. After all, Earth was simply too important. The virtual universe company did promise not to disrupt the lives of the people. Luo Feng saw everything happen himself. Luo Feng, who had been patiently staying on Earth, was also waiting for the results of the highest point mission. After all, he massacred at an extreme level during the first level's Flame God Organization mission. As for the completion rate, he didn't know the results yet. 5 days later. Luo Feng, male. Barbata's voice resounded in his mind. Luo Feng, who was in the yard sipping tea, with his brother Luo Hua, sent a thread of consciousness into the Virtual Universe network. Virtual Universe Yuseong Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. Within his study. The moment he sat down, Barbata, who was on his shoulder, said with a glee, "It's from the Virtual Universe Company, and the subject is related to the highest point mission." Luo Feng gently tapped the screen and opened the mail. The details were: "You've already completed the first level of the highest point mission. The members have judged that your final completion rate is 82%, hence you will get 82,000 points. This also means that you have the right to move on to the second level. Evaluation. The mission was for you, Luo Feng, to judge the 18 executives of the Flame Wind Organization. It didn't ask for you to judge their guards along with their corrupted guests and clients. You, however, massacred everybody, killing over 1 million of them. Obviously, you are bloodthirsty by nature, and you even used claws and close combat, not even feeling any disdain from killing over 1 million of them. Also, your gaze hardly even changed. You enjoy killing from within, you love the thrill from close combat. This is a bit dangerous. Humans are innately not a bloodthirsty race. Even though the population is extremely huge, there are very few with bloodthirst in their bones. Even the races in the universe that are bloodthirsty, they are extremely few. However, when you kill, you are cold and collected. As to who to kill and who not to, you are distinct. To kill over 1 million and not let the blood affect you, still clearly making distinct decisions on who to kill and who to spare, it's obvious you are not controlled by the bloodthirst. It hasn't affected your core. In summary, despite your bloodthirsty nature, we still gave you 82% completion." Luo Feng immediately laughed when he saw the mail. 82% completion. That was risky. He almost ended the highest point mission immediately. The evaluation did make sense. Right? The mission had told him to judge the 18 executives, yet he killed everybody within the organization, and even the corrupted clients and their underlings. According to the evaluation, they let me pass, because they could see I was calm and collected, and was not affected by the massacre. Luo Feng laughed. Even though it made sense, however, if they had let him do the mission again, the result would still be the same. Luo Feng would never change the way he did things, just from some evaluation. That scums, they were the vermin of humanity. They were completely corrupt. If he didn't see it, it would be fine. But since he saw everything and knew the truth, he naturally had to kill them. I'll just do things my way, who cares how many points I get? Luo Feng thought. I don't wish to change the way I do things, because of their words. A new mail appeared on the screen. Barbata shouted out, "It's the second level." Luo Feng smiled and opened the mail. The subject read, "Highest point mission second level." Details. This mission is the second level of the highest point mission. Mission background. In the Jiulun Universe Country region, there's a powerful Emperor-level Undying Blood Demon Emperor. He is a lone wolf and antisocial in nature. He's also not a member of the 5 Leviathans. Within the Universe Country, he controls the Dutuor star field. That is his sole territory, and it's completely under his control. As he is an important member of the Hong Alliance, he has absolute control over this area, and the Gu-Lun universe country itself has no power over it. Luo Feng was interested in the word's background. Hong Alliance. Hong Alliance. Luo Feng frowned and muttered, and it says that Blood Demon Emperor is a lone wolf, antisocial in nature. Yet he is an important member of the Hong Alliance. It's simple, it shows that the alliance is a lax one, and that it doesn't have many requirements from its members. Only a lax alliance would let lone wolf members join. Barbata exclaimed on his shoulder. However, the requirements to join this alliance must be a harsh one. After following your teacher for so many years, we've never even heard of it. This shows that he didn't have the rights to even join them. Luo Feng nodded. He recalled back then in Demon Note Mountain in the Demon Note Inheritance Palace. There were two Undyings that spoke when they reached the core. Luo Feng clearly remembered their conversation. How come there are only 8 palaces without people, the rest are all filled? That's weird, the report from Hong Alliance stated that there were 9 empty. Who cares, we are just 2 people. Whether it's 8 or 9, we have our spaces. The simple conversation between the two Undyings back then was enough to perk Luo Feng's curiosity. The Demon Note inheritance was obviously very valuable. After chatting with his teacher Tru Yang, it also showed him that he had taken the slot of Drizzle Mist Emperor. A slot so valuable even to an Emperor-level Undying, yet it was decided by the Virtual Universe Company, or Huge Axe Dojo. It was from a Hong Alliance he had never heard of. Luo Feng had a feeling. The Hong Alliance's influence must be huge. It is indeed powerful. A lone wolf, just because he's an important member of the Alliance, he controls a star field and can operate it independent of the universe country. It's his own country. Luo Feng exclaimed. Even though there were countries like the Black Dragon Mountain Empire etc., within the Ganwu universe country along with other Undying lands, the Ganwu universe country still had control over them. He was shocked by this mysterious Hong Alliance. He quickly connected to the virtual network and started searching for it, gently tapping the screen. Search complete. It was completely blank. Damn, my authority is already really high, yet I cannot find anything about them. Just how high in power are they? Where are they from? Luo Feng thought, immediately searching up on Blood Demon Emperor. One piece of information popped up. Luo Feng opened it to read. Blood Demon Emperor, name Dutuor, he is arrogant and has incredible strength and power. He was extremely powerful even amongst the Emperor-level Undyings. He's been stationed for a long time in Dutuor Starfield, and has 36 Undyings under him. He's a big independent power from the Gu-Lun universe country. This information didn't mention the Hong Alliance, however it mentioned his Undying underlings etc. Luo Feng sat at his desk and pondered about the information regarding Blood Demon Emperor and the Hong Alliance. Even though it was little, he could only deduce that this arrogant Blood Demon Emperor, being a part of the Hong Alliance, only showed that the alliance was extremely powerful. Even the slots for the Demon Note inheritance were decided by them. Luo Feng shook his head and continued reading the mission details. Mission details. Within the Dutuor starfield that Blood Demon Emperor controls, there's a very brutal test called the Blood Demon Trials. This has later been called the Blood Demon Hell by the people of the Dutuor starfield. This trial would be organized over tens of thousands of galaxies in the star field, however the period of time over which it stretched was very long. However in a month, the Meng Ya galaxy and the Weili galaxy will begin its trials simultaneously. The Meng Ya galaxy will hold a high-level demon trial. The trial details state that capturing and placing 1 million star-level humans onto a mineral planet, making them fight it out and slaughter until only 10 are left. Only then will the trial stop. The remaining 10 will be absorbed into Blood Demon Planet. The Weili galaxy will hold a low-level Blood Demon Trail. The trial details states that capturing 10 billion star traveler-level humans, fighting until only 100 are left. The final 100 will be absorbed into Blood Demon Planet. The death rate is too high. 10 billion being reduced to 100, 1 million star levels down to 10. This high death rate has made the people of the star field incredibly terrified of the trials. However, the entire star field is suppressed by the government, as they've gotten rid of any advanced technology. Many planets don't even have universe ships, or even basic technological tools. Due to our star field is a huge cage. However, Blood Demon Emperor, outside of the trials, has been very kind towards his countless life planets. As he doesn't kill too much, and has never breached the limit, we cannot punish him. Mission request. Both trials will be held simultaneously in Meng Ya and Wei Li Galaxy. As they are separated, Luo Feng, even with your undying God's God country teleportation, you'll only be able to save one galaxy. Your mission is: stop the Blood Demon Trail, and save the members by keeping them in a world ring. As for which galaxy to save, it's your choice. Please remember that the moment the mission begins, your synchronized broadcast will be turned on. All details of the mission will be sent to the virtual universe. The billions of lives are in your hands. Luo Feng, you decide. If your final completion rate reaches 80%, you can move on to the third level. If it's below 80%, the highest point mission ends. The details weren't long. Luo Feng's expression however changed as he read. 2 blood demon trials were going on simultaneously, but he could only pick one to save. Which would it be? Luo Feng. The fist-sized Barbata on his shoulder muttered, the Meng Ya and Wei Li galaxies are extremely far apart. Even with the Yunmo planet ship, it'd take at least 8 days to travel. Also, we still have to get over from the Ganwu universe country. From here to the Jiu Lun universe country, it's too far. You'd have to ask Dylan for help and teleport via his god country. Otherwise we'd waste at least half a year. The blood demon trials start in a month. Luo Feng nodded. He was still pondering which galaxy to go to. Have you picked yet? Barbata asked. The virtual universe company let you choose. One side is 1 million star levels and the other is 10 billion star travelers. From what I see, picking the star travelers shows you are kind, naturally picking the side with more people. However, if you pick the 1 million star levels, it shows you have the thought process of the strong. There are many powerful warriors in the universe. They all think that the strong have more right to live. Luo Feng nodded. Under Blood Demon Emperor's government suppressing the star field, they must have gone through a lot to even reach star level. As for the star traveler level, any galaxy could easily produce over 10 billion star travelers. It was obvious that due to Blood Demon Emperor, even the general public had reached star travelers level already. Would it be the normal 10 billion people? Or the 1 million star levels that have gone through trials and torture? I pick Wei Li Galaxy. Luo Feng emphasized. Luo Feng didn't dare waste time. Within the same day, he sat in the Yunmo planet ship and left Earth, letting Dylan teleport them via his god country, and going straight to the Jiu Lun universe country's Yufu star field. After which, they flew straight towards Wei Li Galaxy. That alone would take about 26 days. In the dark universe, the Yunmo planet ship flew. In the control room, Luo Feng was chatting with Dylan. What a coincidence. Dylan, your god country marker was left in the Yufu star field, which is the closest one to do to our star field. It'll take 26 days to get there. Heading to Meng Ya would take 25 days. Luo Feng looked at Dylan, smiling. Did the virtual universe company ask you before sending this mission? Dylan smiled and nodded. Damn. Luo Feng couldn't help but curse. It was true. The virtual universe company had indeed planned everything out perfectly. It had probably already ordered Dylan to leave markers around the Jiu Lun universe country, but not use them yet. The virtual universe company has planned everything for their training. Dylan smiled. Don't be angry. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng didn't have any grievances against the virtual universe company. As one of the 2 greatest powers of humanity, naturally when they do things, it was all with the thought of protection and strengthening humanity in mind. Ever since he had joined the virtual universe company, Luo Feng had always been fairly satisfied with them, even with regards to the deal about Earth was considered fair. If a normal person on Earth discovered a treasure, and its worth was over 1 million mixed elements. Luo Feng, with his position on Earth, would probably buy it also. Giving just 18 billion Earth dollars would suffice. From Luo Feng's perspective, that much money was enough for a normal person to live without any worries for the rest of their life. One theory. To the virtual universe company, Earth was a nurturing basket that a great being had spent countless energy on remodeling, and its price was limitless. Even a great knight's wealth wouldn't be able to purchase a fraction of it. However, they couldn't simply give Luo Feng such an amount of wealth. Your Majesty, why'd you pick the 10 billion star travelers and not the 1 million star levels? Dylan asked curiously. Without any technology and the blood demon government suppressing them, 99% of them wouldn't find it easy at all to break through to star level. And from what I've found, the overall evolution of due to or star field is pretty high. Any life planet would easily have tens to hundreds of thousands of star travelers. It's not hard for a galaxy to have 10 billion star travelers. These are all normal warriors. Everyone is an independent life form. Luo Feng said softly. My home had been through countless calamities before. I know the tragedy of death. Just like my relatives, they were all normal people back then too. Are they not worth anything? At least to me, my relatives are worth more than 1 million sector lords. And for those normal people, they all have that one life each, and it's worth more than 1 million star levels. 10 billion normal people should die so 1 million star levels can live. Luo Feng shook his head. There is no such thing. If it involved a race and its survival, such sacrifices may have to be made. For example, tens of millions of people in a race may die just to protect a powerful warrior, because he was the only hope for their race's survival. And since Luo Feng's choice this time didn't involve the survival of a race, he naturally picked the normal people. 26 days later. In the air above a yellow planet, the Yunmo planet ship floated. This is not a life planet, it's almost round, and has a diameter of 18,023 kilometers. Barbata's sharp voice resounded. According to the virtual universe company, this is where the blood demon trail will be held. Look, there are already a lot of people stationed here. However, relax. They cannot detect us. Luo Feng gazed below. This mineral planet did have over 100 people stationed, half of them universe level. Let's wait for when the 10 billion star travelers are sent over. Luo Feng said softly. At that moment, the 10 billion star travelers from the hundreds of thousands of planets were being transported over in 10,000 universe ships. They were all traveling in the dark universe and heading over. Within one particular ship, all 3 levels were jammed full with cages. Every one of them had 10 star travelers within. With one glance, every level had countless star travelers within, some even had hundreds of thousands. Mom. Faint crying and muttering resounded from the tens of thousands of cages. This was simply hell. Within one cage, a youth dressed in torn animal skin was hugging a girl tightly. Because of Blood Demon's government, the evolution of the due-to or starfield humans were high. Hence, it was normal to see star travelers, and they would normally pick these youths to undergo the trials. The youth hugged the girl, his eyes gleaming beneath his dirty face. It had hope of life, he gently said confidently. Brother will definitely help you survive, definitely. The girl suddenly shook. She was a pretty-looking girl, even though she was dirty and unwashed too, one could see she was pretty. However, in due-to or starfield, strength was already the absolute. If strength wasn't enough, appearances didn't mean a thing. Big brother, she said, will we die? I heard only a 100 will survive the blood demon trials from 10 billion. Many of these 10 billion come from various sects. They have spirit weapons, genetic weapons, and others have techniques. As for us, we don't have any weapons and only know some basic techniques. How will we survive? The youth began to tear up the moment he heard this. He had a tragic fate since young. His parents had died young, and he had to take his younger sister to wander and learn as much as they could, finally reaching star traveler level, and was able to lead a safe, peaceful life. However, it hadn't even been 2 years of peace, and those without background were all captured and forced to participate. Every planet had to hit a quota of people to send. If the normal people weren't enough, the star travelers with backgrounds were captured too. The Blood Demon trials took place under the order of Blood Demon Emperor. Hence, no one dared go against it. We will survive, definitely, Big Brother swears it. The youth said softly. The girl replied softly, burying her head once again in his chest. Maybe. These final few days lying in her brother's chest before the nightmare began, was the most happiness she could enjoy. Definitely. The youth gripped his right fist hard. His nail pierced his palm, and his eyes were somewhat hysterical, as he shouted within, I must let my sister survive, definitely. 100 out of 10 billion. What was that? It was plainly a mass massacre. Even those with techniques, genetic armor and weapons, these geniuses would be surrounded and killed if they weren't careful. After all, the density of 10 billion on a normal mineral planet was too much. The moment the battles and killing began, no one had a guarantee to survive. And to be able to live to the end, one had to have power. Brains. Guts. And also luck. As for the lower level struggles, all the star travelers who were about to begin the trials were all afraid of it. Even if they had strength, against countless people fighting, they too would feel despair. Ship 0229, stop at position 0293. Ship 3619, stop at position 0123. The yellow planet had long been remodeled, and at this time, this dead silent planet had a dark purple flat ship floating in the air. It was giving orders to the many ships delivering the star travelers, and these many ships opened their cabin doors as they landed. Large amounts of cages were opened and a blur of dirty, unwashed men and women filled with fear on their faces walked out. The blur of people walked within the planet. The temperature of the planet was very low, roughly below 80, and as it was a mineral planet, there was no way to breathe. However, star travelers no longer needed to breathe. So many people. The large amount of star travelers that were dropped off flew away the moment they landed. They could all see extremely far away. There was a blur of silhouettes. There were already over 5 billion now. When have they ever seen so many star travelers? At this time, a camouflaged blood-colored triangular ship was floating tens of thousands of kilometers above the planet, observing all the star travelers on the planet. Within the ship's control room, 5,729 ships have already arrived. 5.729 billion star travelers have arrived. Barbata's childlike voice resounded within the control room. Another ship has arrived, 5730, 5733, 5734. Luo Feng and Dylan just gazed on. All of the star travelers forced to participate in this blood demon trial all had looks of fear and unrest. Hence, they were carefully glancing at each other. Only those close to each other truly trusted and helped each other, this sort of pressure and fear. Even Luo Feng could feel it, despite being high up in the sky. 10 billion of them. Luo Feng thought. Being controlled by Blood Demon Emperor, that's their bad luck. Dylan shook his head. Doesn't the virtual universe care about it? Luo Feng shook his head and frowned. Even though they are considered universe citizens, these are after all star travelers too. This is akin to a huge massacre. And this sort of thing was happening in every galaxy. There are over tens of thousands of galaxies in the Dutuor star field that he controls, and the blood trials happen over a long period of time. Considering the massacre of so many universe citizens, does the company not even say anything? Dylan looked at Luo Feng and shook his head. Unless it reaches a critical amount, the company and huge axe Aojo cannot do anything. Critical amount. Luo Feng thought. He remembered the details of the mission mentioning that if the number of people killed didn't hit the restricted amount, they couldn't be punished. This isn't even the limit yet. Just what is it then? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. Luo Feng, the limit is calculated per planet. Dylan explained. If every year, every life planet has a limit of 200 star travelers that could be killed, and every galaxy has 200,000 life planets. Then in 1 year, the number of star travelers that could be killed in a single galaxy would be 100 million. And the number for this blood demon trial that occurs every 100 years would be 10 billion. Of course, at different levels of power and position, the limit is different too. An emperor level undying or knight naturally has different standards. A knight can kill in the trillions without any repercussions, of course. They too have a limit to uphold. Luo Feng understood. Privilege. Just like Void Goldmaster, that level of being, he could probably kill off half of a universe country with countless deaths, and still have no repercussions at all. At most, he would get a slight punishment from the upper echelons of humanity. They cannot ban killing from those managing the planet territories. Dylan said, Blood Demon Emperor controls the entire Dutuor star field with billions of planets. Since its citizens were countless, his blood demon trials only took so many people, and this amount doesn't even get close to the limit. After all, other than the trials, he doesn't randomly massacre citizens on the planets. He knows the importance of steadiness too. The better the billions of planets advance, continuously producing warriors, the stronger and more solid his power grows. Humph. Luo Feng frowned. This method of picking elites, doesn't he fear that the elites would eventually hate him? So what if they do? They would be constantly nurtured, and when they become sector lords, only then would they have the right to have their souls invaded to become blood demon soldiers. Dylan shook his head. Blood demon soldiers. Luo Feng was stunned. Blood Demon Emperor has created a technique through which is currently capable of controlling 999 undying slaves. Dylan said indifferently. And his undying disciples and slaves, along with the sector lord disciples, they all train in this technique as well. Hence, they too can control a few slaves, however those that were all controlled were elites. Blood Demon Emperor controls undying slaves and nurtures his disciples. The undying slaves then control another new group, and those elites and exceptional worthy ones will train in the technique too. Dylan smiled coldly. As long as one is controlled, he becomes a blood demon soldier. Luo Feng's expression changed. And the blood demon trial was created precisely for picking the blood demon soldiers. Dylan smiled coldly. The never-ending supply of elite geniuses from the entire star field, they would all end up in Blood Demon Emperor's hands. His governance is incredibly sturdy and matchless. He is definitely a terrifying being amongst the Emperor-level undyings. As Luo Feng and Dylan were high in their ship patiently awaiting the gathering, the dark purple flat ship that was giving orders opened its doors. A 100-meter diameter disc-shaped ship entered. Lord La Peter is here. Quick, go welcome Lord La Peter, quickly. Within the dark purple ship, a group of well-dressed silhouettes were present. Among them, the weakest being Universe Level 3, swiftly ran to the entrance. Leading the way was a domain lord, and behind him were over 100 Universe Level upper management. The door of the disc-shaped ship opened. A snowy crystal-skinned man, with snow-white short hair and black armor walked out with a piercing gaze. The group of upper management all bowed respectfully, not daring to look up. 2 guards followed behind him, both of them were Sector Lord Level 9. Greetings Lord La Peter. Over 100 people bowed respectfully. The snow-skinned black-armored man nodded coldly. Have all the participants for the trial gathered? It's already reached 7 billion, they should all be gathered in about half a day. The leading domain lord said respectfully. This La Peter nodded indifferently. He, Sector Lord Level 9, was a part of the Blood Demon Corps. He was trained in the Blood Demon techniques, and the 2 behind him were 2 Blood Demon soldiers that he controlled. I'm in charge of supervising the trials this time. His eyes gleamed coldly as his gaze swept past the group of management. Immediately, they all felt uneasy. The control of the entire trial must be done well. Make sure that the final 100 are those that have survived after killing and surviving the battle, and not those lucky ones that hide and survive, understood? Yes. The management all complied. To the control room. La Peter brought his 2 guards and walked towards the control room, the group followed behind. The many ships arrived one by one. As the doors opened, large amounts of star travelers trapped in cages walked out. A blur of humans swiftly filled every corner of the mineral planet. With their energy-sensing abilities and the ship's flying speeds, 10 billion star travelers gathered on this mineral planet. The density was simply too high. The youth standing on some stones had a blade on his waist. He held on to the weak girl beside him, carefully gazing about. The blur of star travelers felt the formless pressure all over. In a moment, we will do as we had planned. You help me and we'll work together to survive the first battle and later find a desolate place to hide. The girl looked about cautiously too, spreading her formless spirit energy around. Anxiousness. An occasional ship flew by above, sending another million star travelers. It made the pressure increase constantly. Mommy, mommy. There were some that collapsed mentally, crying like infants for their mothers. No one laughed at them. Almost 99% of them felt like they were about to collapse at any time. They had heard of the legends of the blood demon trials ever since they were young. After flying in cages for days plus being cramped with so many others, the killing intent, the fear, the pressure, it was enough to make a person collapse. Within the dark purple flat ship, the snow-skinned snow-white hair La Peter was looking over everything. As he saw their fear, their collapsed states, his eyes filled with excitement and they twitched slightly. His entire being appeared to have entered a state of madness. Lord La Peter, 9,992 ships have already arrived, the final 8 will arrive soon. The blood demon trial will begin soon, please announce the commencement of the trial. The leading domain lord said respectfully. Hurry. La Peter's eyes were filled with madness. I cannot wait anymore. The final 8 ships arrived and when the final 8 million arrived on the mineral planet, the ships left and a cold voice filled the air above the entire planet. Children. Only 100 of you from the 10 billion will survive. Through the great blood demon trial, you'll become the most loyal and exceptional soldiers. Right now, let the killing begin. Kill everyone around you, kill them all. His voice resounded. However, at that time, 2 silhouettes swiftly descended from the skies. Barbata, open the synchronized broadcast to the virtual universe network. Yes. 2 silhouettes, one was a green-armored black-haired youth, and on his forehead was a gold engraving. His entire being was almost like a terrifying gold blade piercing forward. Beside him was a black-robed normal-looking bald man. From 10,000 kilometers away, the 2 of them instantly reached the surface of the planet. Using the world ring, keep. Luo Feng triggered the world energy within the ring and swiftly spread it over the entire planet. The 10 billion star travelers that were just about to begin killing vanished and the mineral planet was left completely empty. They all appeared within the spacious grasslands of his world ring. Go and die. Kill. The 10 billion that had entered a state of madness didn't notice their surroundings change. As Luo Feng kept them, part of them had already begun their battles. However, after being tossed into the grasslands, they were all stunned. Even the siblings stained in blood looked about in shock. The moment he collected all the star travelers into his ring, he ordered, close synchronized broadcast. Yes. Barbata complied. The second mission sure is simple, it's over just like that. Luo Feng shook his head. At that time, those that dare disrupt the blood demon trials, you will die. An enraged howl filled the entire planet. Simultaneously a terrifying blade flash tore through the universe space, slashing over 10,000 kilometers, and headed straight towards Luo Feng. Part 2 end here.